Well, we got like 3 photos, so check it out.
This place is immaculate. Just stare at these stairs.
Who's an architect? Who's not an architect? Truly, it doesn't even matter if you're an architect or not. What you're more concerned about is the house that the architect built. In this episode, in this instance of Motion Medley, we are going to cover the top 5 residence styles that are generally popular amongst US citizens and international citizens. Let's get started. The Mediterranean fashion housing started in the European regions of Italy, Spain, and Portugal. The incipient stages of the Mediterranean style was consequently influenced by Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese architects and artisans. Over time, many other countries began facilitating their own mold of the style and making it their own through additions and differing techniques in the construction, formation of the home. Despite the assortment of denominations in the structure, the lore and theme of the home still remain fixed, as all Mediterranean homes are mutually tranquil with the natural atmosphere. Likewise, with craftsman-style homes, Mediterranean residences are abundantly outfitted with raw elements that sprout from the earth. Stark features of the Mediterranean home are highly comprised of these elements, as the exterior of the home is usually blanketed with stucco, a cement-like concoction. Stucco is unique in the fact that it is thin and can be painted over. Due to the flimsy nature of the stucco finish, creative and bespoke illustrations can easily be plastered onto the structure, which can allow for a nice facade. I would bet that you could scribe your name on it. However, the delicate finish has its disadvantages as well, as any damage or force can immediately result in a tainted look. Of course, the structure itself wouldn't be damaged without a tremendous amount of force, but it could result in a tarnished appearance. Stucco walls are a beauty to look at, and they make Mediterranean homes stand out for most. But what's the most outstanding attribute of a Mediterranean home? Like all homes, it's the architecture. From aspects and components such as the floor plan, ceiling, and overall interior of the home, a Mediterranean home isn't Mediterranean without its signature arches and spacious spaces. Arches, being as magnificent as they are, can be dated back to the Roman era in which many of the Mediterranean homes today adopted their style. An arch is a self-supporting apparatus that assists in the strength and durability of the walls surrounding it. In addition, an arch reduces the total weight of the wall. Arches are renowned for their pulchritude, and they make for an excellent feature for a Mediterranean home. There are many more amenities and constituents that constitute Mediterranean property, but of course we have other residences to talk about, which brings us to the second topic of today. Alright, this residence very well may be the paragon for the typical American home. Craftsman-style homes were introduced to the public and promulgated to the world after some handy men and women in mid-1800s England began assembling grandeur pieces that were later deemed as the craftsman style. Likewise, with Mediterranean homes, many craftsman houses are constructed from natural and authentic materials that are not synthetic nor faux. Additionally, a craftsman-style home usually has a double-hung window, some crown molding that's pushing and give or take, and low-pitched roof, I think. Anywho, let's delineate about the amenities that are native to that of the craftsman home. These were aforementioned: crown molding, low-pitched roofs, and double-hung windows. Crown molding has multiple avenues as far as composition and many methods of carving and shaping the material. Although craftsman-style homes are usually riddled with the natural and recurring elements, crown molding has different variants other than wood, which are manufactured: medium-density fiberboard and polyurethane. Designs and other intricate details can be etched into the wood and are relatively inexpensive. Hardwood is harder to etch details and other illustrations than the likes of softwood. If one were to ask themselves if they wanted to hire the extra labor for designs along the zenith of their home, they would likely want softwood. As for the medium density fiberboard, also known as MDF,
Here, what we're using is a material called ultralight MDF. MDF is medium density fiberboard.
it's even cheaper than the wood variant. It is most suiting for rooms where the trim alongside the walls are painted. Due to its synthetic composition, any blows can result in nicks and small indentations. Maybe it would be best to install along the ceiling.
We could discuss the installation and properties of polyurethane and dive into depth. However, it doesn't have enough differentiating characteristics from that of MDF. Essentially, it's a plaster, and namely, it's a disparate material from wood and MDF. All in all, it's alternative cut and is widely considered to be plaster.
Next are the low-pitched roofs of a craftsman home. These are rather costly, but they certainly compensate the trial of advantages that are in tow after the installation. The ventilation of the home is much more efficient with the low-pitched roof, as the attic isn't granted as much space. In short, the excess air in the attic decreases efficiency for the heating and cooling unit. Maintenance for the roof is easier as the slope isn't as acute or steep. The low-pitched roofs claim to fame very well could be the accessibility of maintenance. Contractors and other handy men and women can walk about the roof sure-footed. Don't get too close to the edge though. Last thing, low-pitched roofs are also beneficial in the fact that they allow more space. Some homes with steep roofs have attics that are inaccessible, whereas a home with a low-pitched roof barely has one. Maybe you could fit a Christmas tree in there. Okay, double hung windows. Everybody has these, I don't know who doesn't. These are so common, a Mediterranean house has at least one. The windows with the double pane, the screen, lock, you get the memo. Double hung windows are an excellent feature that accompanies the craftsman style. Maintenance is excruciatingly easy and it provides superb ventilation through the top and bottom sashes. The bottom sash collects cool air through its breech and the top sash expels the air into the interior's atmosphere. So many benefits in one. Let's move forwards. Alright, so the Neo-Eclectic home is renowned for its asymmetrical architecture, as it really is a mixture of architectural styles. The assimilation of another architectural style gives a property an abundance of depth, which can provide for an idiosyncratic home overall. Most modern consumers will be drawn to the Neo-Eclectic home as it caters to much of their needs and wants. There are so many styles and fashions of housing that are present in the property that most could conclude a tour with at least one favorite attribute of the home lingering in their mind. As stated before, the Neo-Eclectic style is simply the byproduct of all the other popular styles. Just imagine that your bedroom has looming arches over the entryway, and your co-tenants has nothing but a piece of shit hanging from the ceiling. The Neo-Eclectic home is a prime example of what a Mediterranean and craftsman style home would look like had they been merged together. That's why it's best to place at number 3, as it can serve as a consummate summary paradigm for the Mediterranean home and the craftsman home. Let's let it do just that for the next 10 seconds. Eclectic homes are also eccentric for the most part, as the buyer, owner, renter, whatever, was seeking to be sui generis or peculiar from the outset. It's hard not to have a wacky living room with silly decorations, with the architecture around you being as convoluted and complex as it is. Mine would have a pink lollipop and a globe, or maybe some vinyl records, you know what I'm saying? Further. The ranch bucolic residence style is more so a theme than anything. Most Southerners can vouch that their home was not sold to them, with all the trinkets and taxidermy that occupies the walls and alcoves. The theme being the Midwest and customs that follow, a ranch-style home would almost certainly have an assortment of windows along the front of the house, and maybe an overlapping porch, circumnavigating porch. Wrapping? A porch that wraps around the house? Yeah, that. The porch is optional, but the floor plan is almost certainly definite between two schemes, the U-shaped plan and the L-shaped plan. These are what really makes the ranch home the ranch home. The U-shaped plan would most likely see a courtyard lying in the centermost point of the structure. As you would know, the courtyard doesn't have any roofs or pavilion-like structures. The sun is free to shine its light upon the courtyard and allow natural light to bask the home. Many sources say that the U-shaped plan is considered advanced, as other base plans don't incorporate the light entering their home. The courtyard allows light to seep in through multiple sides. Makes it easier to get your vitamin D. The L-shaped plan isn't too different from that of the U-shaped plan. The U-shaped plan has a courtyard in the middle. Okay. The L-shaped plan has a courtyard in the front. Beyond that, the neighborhood. L-shaped plans will ostensibly have a porch that occupies the front end of the house, as it is L-shaped. is linear. Even the letter is linear.
Lastly, the ranch home has massive potential for scaling. The L-shaped design allows for some rather upscale additions that can augment both the morale for the persons who reside there and a price of the property. Both the U and the L floor plans are so dynamic it's hard to beat. As for the interior, the ranch home is honestly pretty similar to that of the craftsman and Mediterranean home. Seems as if the ranch style just adds some Midwestern elements, accents, and expansive schemas. Let's not forget the taxidermy yet. I know we said 5, but let's stay with 4. New video out next week.